Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I want to talk about the possibility of Micah Parsons becoming a Washington Commander in the next couple years. Kevin Durant certainly thinks it's a possibility. We'll talk about it in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Yeah, I know it's a dead period of the off season, so we don't have a lot to talk about, so stuff like this will make the news and it'll make videos. So I do want to talk about it, and it just gives us the opportunity to talk about Micah Parsons and the possibility that he will be a Commander in the next few years, if it's even possible. Obviously there are major ties between Micah Parsons and the Commanders organization, besides the obvious ones. So we'll talk about that and some other things as well. So recording this video today, and any other videos you guys want me to pre-record, we'll be having surgery on Wednesday. We'll probably be out for a week or so at least without making videos. So just give me video suggestions for today and tomorrow. But let's get right into it. So Kevin Durant and Micah Parsons, whatever I think is Fanatics Fest. And Kevin Durant says Micah Parsons will be a Washington Commander at some point. He's talking to Kay Adams. She said when. Durant says, I will say 2 years from now. And then Parsons comes in and says, yo, I only rock with Dan Quinn. And then Durant said, exactly, that's all you need to rock with. So, you got the connection there. Dan Quinn coached and was, Micah Parsons' DC for a while in Dallas, and he had a lot of success there. He moved him around and he found the perfect spot for Micah Parsons to play, and it really worked out and has worked out in Dallas for Micah Parsons, and he really likes him. You also got Joe Witt here in Washington. You have Dorrance Armstrong, who is his teammate in Washington. You have some other guys as well that are on the team. Noah Igbenogany was on the Cowboys. You got Michael Gallup, Noah Brown. Like, we do have some Cowboy players, former Cowboy players on the roster right now. I believe also, Micah Parsons might have joked about it that he's going to follow Dan Quinn wherever. He also, during the season was texting with Dan Quinn all the time, just talking football. I forgot exactly what it was, but they were keeping in good contact, and Micah Parsons definitely misses him. But Micah Parsons, he's not a free agent. He's been in the league right now for 4 seasons. So this next season is going to be his final season on his rookie contract. So that is the 5th-year deal. And then, hypothetically, he would be a free agent if all things go perfect for the Commanders. But very, very unlikely that happens. So number one, most likely, is they get a deal done at some point. They get a deal done at some point, before the season or during the season, and he doesn't even become a free agent. Number 2 scenario is, they franchise tag him next year, which takes him off the market for another year. Number 3 is maybe they franchise tag him and then they work on a possible trade. Well, in that scenario, they're not trading him to Washington. The only scenario that makes it a possibility that Micah Parsons comes to the Washington Commanders is if he plays out that season on a franchise tag and they don't want to franchise tag him again. He leaves and he enters free agency and becomes a Washington Commander. Maybe if it's all right, he plays the 2025 season, he's gets the franchise tag in 2026. So, he's off the market then. 2027 gets another franchise tag. They will not be able to the third one is an outrageous number. It already is the second time around, so maybe they won't, because defensive ends, the franchise tag number is a lot. Defensive end franchise tag number. It's a lot of money. And the second one would be a lot as well. So it was $22 million in 2025, so it'll be a little bit more. And then if you look up defensive end franchise tag number second time, it might be it will be even more than that. So that's just something to think about with the Cowboys. So it would be 120% of their previous franchise tag salary, so it'll be even more, a 20% increase from the year before. is what I'm getting there. So, Micah Parsons would be getting it back. He would be getting it back, but it still might be, a good deal for them. Maybe they think, that's better than letting him go for free agency. I don't know. He can also hold out, stuff like that. Tell him that, he's not going to let them franchise tag him. But again, at the end of the day, that's their decision. In terms of Micah Parsons as a player, played for 4 years. First year, 13 sacks. Next year, 13 and a half. Next year, 14. And this past year was his lowest sack total. But guess what? He only played in 13 games. He missed 4 games and still had 12 sacks. So honestly, was probably the best season of his career. If we're just looking at sacks per game, he had a really good season. And also had 2 forced fumbles in 2024 as well, which is comparable to his other years, more than more than 2023, and then a little bit less than 2021 and 2022. He's a really good player. He's still super young. He's an athletic freak. He, just again, we don't know if he is going to, be able to hit the market. I really doubt it. 26 years old, so just turned 26. He also is a big fan of Jaden Daniels, and again, he's a big fan of some of what the Commanders are building. But obviously, he's a Dallas Cowboy, so he can't talk too crazy because obviously you got the rivalry going on here, and he has this podcast going on. I know a lot of people don't like that, and it leads to drama. Like some of his teammates don't even like that. DeMarcus Lawrence was talking smack after he left Dallas, and about Micah Parsons, and part of that was the podcast drama. So that is something to keep in mind. It's not a big deal. If the guy's a dog, he's a dog, and you want him. I would be happy with Micah Parsons paying him whatever he wants. I mean, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro or 4-time All-Pro. I mean, he's one of the best edge rushers in all of football. I think it's, Micah Parsons. Sorry, not Micah. Myles Garrett is like in his own tier, I would say. And maybe, you can throw, honestly, he might be the best, but maybe his own tier is a little bit crazy. I don't think Myles Garrett's in his own tier, but you got Myles Garrett, you got Micah Parsons, you got TJ Watt, you got Max Crosby, and then, Nick Bosa too. Like, you have a lot of really good edge rushers. He's at the top of the list. He's in that top tier. And, adding him would be a complete game changer, and obviously very familiar with Dan Quinn, very familiar with Joe Witt. It wouldn't be an issue acclimating to the defense, and, he has some of these former teammates that he knows as well, Dorrance Armstrong. So, hey, Kevin Durant doing some recruiting on the day he gets traded, that's cool. Whatever. I'm not a big Kevin Durant guy. Obviously, he's a DMV guy, which is cool, but, never came to the Wizards. Can't blame him, but still would have been cool. 2016, I believe, was when he went to the Warriors. So that would have been cool and everything. It didn't happen. Drafts this week, so hopefully the Wizards are able to get Ace Bailey. That's who I want them to take, but, at the end of the day, who knows what happens. They're picking at 6. A lot can happen, in between. We know that the first couple picks are probably going to be Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper. But after that, who knows what happens if the Wizards trade up, trade down. They have pick number 18 as well. So, we'll see what happens there. Shout out to my guy Abdullah from, DMV Sports Zone and now Locked On Wizards. Make sure you guys check him out. Great content over there. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy, and peace.